very happy, honored, delighted to be able to introduce you to Leanne. All of us here are in LifeWave, I believe. Nobody here deciding. So Leanne is going to give us her perspectives on social media marketing. She has a background with marketing, psychology, social media. She does the social media marketing for a UK property company. And, you know, with that said, I'm just going to say to Leanne, thank you so much for coming here, doing this for us. And I'm here to learn.
Amazing. Thanks, George. Thank you for having me, everyone, and for supporting the session. I see my man Wilson is also on, and he's also been doing some incredible stuff with you guys with regards to the WhatsApp marketing and things like that. Today, I decided to start from the very beginning, because it's a very good place to start. And a lot of us have social media, but we're not really sure how to use it. And what is actually happening is that there's so much going on that we tend to be overwhelmed. There's also so much information out there that we tend to not even know where to start. And I myself have fallen victim to this. But the truth of the matter is that it always goes back to basics. And it goes back to doing things in a certain way that work for you. Not for the world, but specifically for you as a person marketing your business. So it has changed the way we communicate, but it hasn't changed everything. And so we just need to look at how we're going to start with our social media, where we're going to start, and what we're going to do on our social media. And without a plan and a strategy and goals, we are not going to be able to really achieve what we want on our social media. So what are your goals for using social media? I wonder if I can see the chat. If everyone can maybe put one or two of their goals in the chat, then we can look at some of their goals. Of why you're on this call, why do you want to know about social media, of what interest is it for you to know about social media? If you can just put your goal in the chat there for me.
And if somebody would prefer to speak, you can always raise your hand and I can unmute you. For the moment, all the mics are on silent.
Okay, great. Alison says she wants to increase her email list.
And Fricky says that in a direct message to me, she wants to generate more leads.
Great. Okay. She also wants to connect with her ideal business partners. That's excellent. I see a lot of people already know quite a lot. My goal is to create a following and email list. Lisa, Desiree, I would like to be director status with regards to leads. Wilson, I'd like to be SPD by 2024. Nice. I need to maximize reach, increase business. Magda, Jules would like to spread the word and gain more
leads, not
leads for brand leads for brand partners. Okay, great. Create targeted YouTube channel and increase followers. Great. Have a community with more like-minded individuals. That's really, really a good one in terms of a goal for social media. Okay, increasing followers, excellent. Spread the word and more leads, yes, excellent. Okay, so this is really, really good. I see everyone's put their goals out there. And we're just going to start now walking through social media. So I found that there's two ways to really approach it, and I've broken it down into two sections. It's called Tools for Success and then Tools for Greatness. So the tools for success are more like how to use social media. What are the platforms? How to work with your profiles, how to optimize your profile, how to create posts and when to put the posts out there. What are squeeze pages? What is your content plan look like? How often are you scheduling? are you using AI tools? Those are the basics. So let's also look at it from a left brain perspective. It's a task-oriented stuff that needs to be done specifically so that you can get the results. And then you've got tools for greatness. And this is more like understanding your niche, understanding their pain points, developing and attracting an attractive character, talking about what is important to you. So there's a 3-word principle that a lot of the social media gurus use, and we'll go through that. And it's also being consistent and then keeping on top of trends. So that's our tools for greatness. And so in this talk tonight, I'm going to try and give you an overview. And if you would like to, we can always go in deeper, because each one of these sections in itself is a bigger talk. So we're just going to give you an overview so everyone understands where we're going and what we need to do. Okay. All right. So let's first look at which social media channel is right for you. So now one of the big mistakes that we often make is trying to get onto every single social media channel, do every single thing that's out there, and we actually spread ourselves way too thin. And where we could be giving direct attention to those social media channels that we have decided to use. So, for instance, in South Africa, these are stats, but you can tell me where in the world what your stats are like or what your platforms are like. But WhatsApp is 93.3% of people in South Africa are using it that took part in the survey. Facebook, 87.2%, Instagram, 70.5%, TikTok, 69.9% and growing. Facebook Messenger, 63%, Twitter, 60%, Instagram, 47%, and Telegram, 44%. Telegram itself is also growing, and it's a brilliant channel. So which 1, 2, or 3 stand out for you? And what is the reason for putting your content out there? We did discuss your goals. And obviously, I would imagine a lot of our reason is to spread the word about LifeWave. So let's try figure out what channels can be the best for us. So I've created a little Q&A here, and if you can just take note of your answers, and then we'll go through some of the questions. Okay, so I can't see everyone, but I just want to see, is everyone all right?
I believe so.
Good.
I believe so. I'm not getting anything in the chat to say otherwise.
You're all still with me, and you can hear me, right, George?
Yep, can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So question 1 is, can you create graphics? Just ask yourself yes or no. Can you take videos? Can you create videos, as in creating transitions and that kind of thing, animation? Do you have a talent or a skill or an understanding of how to create videos? Do you like research? Do you like to write? Do you like to share your knowledge? Are you camera shy? Do you want to be original on social media? How much time can you dedicate on social media? What is your level of experience? And how big is your network? So I'm going to open up the floor to one person that puts their hand up, and we can just go through your answers.
So somebody put your hand up quick, and I'll unmute the microphone. Hands up in the chat. Okay, Yanilda opened her hand. She was the first. Yanilda was the first.
Yanilda is quick on the draw.
Okay, Yanilda. Open your mic. Great.
Can everybody see me now?
Hi, Nilda. How are you? We can see you and we can hear you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, George.
We're so happy to have you. So we wanted to just go through some of your answers. So if you can tell us what you answered for the following. Let's go back there. Can you create graphics?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay, so the
I love
answer,
that. I love that answer.
for people that can't create graphics, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and Telegram can be a good solution for you. Okay? Yanilda, can you take videos?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can take videos, you can use TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, not YouTube, sorry, YouTube. And can you create visual, like, do you have a talent with actually creating videos, not just taking videos?
No.
Okay, so then you wouldn't, if you had that talent, you wouldn't go with TikTok or Instagram, right? For the moment. If you wanted to create videos, but because you can take videos, you can go with Instagram and YouTube. Do you like research?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, great. So if you like research, things like LinkedIn and articles on LinkedIn are a really good option. And
Okay.
do you like to write?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then again, so LinkedIn and your articles, and you can also then start a personal blog, could also be an option for you, but that's not really social media at the moment, but you can use that as well. So I'm going to say thank you, Yanilda. I'm going to give someone else a chance to answer some of their questions. Thank you so much.
Alison is next. She's got her hand up still, and I guess Tracy would put her hand back up. So Alison.
Hi there, everyone.
Hello, Alison.
Hi
How
there.
are you?
Thanks for doing this training. So appreciate you.
Absolute pleasure. So I'd love to ask you what some of your answers were, to find out what your ideal platform is. So from the first few questions, were you able to see a platform that stood out?
So I already create graphics in Canva. I've learned to do that. I've sort of had a lot more experience in social media than most people. I got banned from LinkedIn because they didn't like me. They wouldn't explain what they didn't like about my posts. But I'm thinking of going back into it with a different niche, the niche of business building rather than the niche of natural health. I already do videos, but I just tended to step back from that because I'm an introvert, and given half a chance, I'll go back into my shell. But I know that that videos are the most powerful. It's frustrating with Facebook how it's reduced how many people see your posts unless they want you to pay for for ads, and so do Instagram, who are owned by Meta as well as Facebook. TikTok irritates me, but it's good if you're creating a video. TikTok, according to some of my training, is a good place to go to first to put captions in and then download it and add it to other areas. So I can't, because I'm not wearing my reading glasses.
Which current platforms are you using for yourself?
I'm currently using Facebook, and then I'm posting stuff on Instagram, but I know that you need to engage with other people in order to make Instagram work. And so Instagram,
you know, the thing is as well, and that's the thing, is that you've got Instagram, Facebook, and all of this, and we hear all these, bits of advice, right, which are so important. But and that's kind of like what I see from so many people, is that we adjust our strategy according to these bits of advice, and where actually our strategy needs to come from the bottom up. And so you're saying you're using Instagram currently. Are you using TikTok?
I'm not using TikTok. I've got an account, and that's
You
it.
said you
I
don't
use
like
I use
videos.
Facebook Messenger a lot for connecting with people. So I use Facebook and Facebook Messenger mainly.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I take it that you also, so you said you're camera shy, and that
I'm not camera
did you
shy.
say
No,
that you're
I'm not camera
not?
shy. I'm an introvert, so I will retreat into
Okay.
my shell given half a chance. But I'm not camera shy. I've got
Oh,
loads of live
okay.
videos. I've got a Vimeo account, a YouTube account. I just don't post regularly on them, so I need to be. I need a gentle kick up the backside to be able to keep doing it. You know.
Good. Okay. So then that means that, obviously, like you were mentioning, TikTok and Instagram are really good. And then, LinkedIn, like you said, you need to change your niche and whatnot. Can you
But
handle, are you
LinkedIn is
able to handle
powerful.
all these platforms?
Yeah, LinkedIn is powerful because few people are using it in that way.
That's
And I
true.
have a LinkedIn strategy, but I'm just leaving it for the moment. But it is the best place to find people earning 100,000 plus, because it's the best place for those people, for business people, to be found. So that's why I
Yeah,
want to venture
sure.
back into LinkedIn.
And that also just depends on the niche that you're targeting, right?
Yes.
And what your personal strategy is. And I know that obviously you're a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so from with your knowledge, and obviously the LinkedIn articles and the LinkedIn can be very powerful for you specifically because obviously you do the research and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how much time do you have to dedicate to social media?
Well, at the moment, I'm spending. I kid myself that the time I spend on social media is for my business, but it's not targeted enough. So I'm continually commenting on people's posts and supporting them. I had over 200 comments for my birthday, so now, which was Monday. So now is a perfect time to be sending messages back to them. So I'm connecting with them for the masterclass I held last night, and I'm repeating on Saturday. So I've got some buzz going. I had 37 people sign up for the masterclass, but only 6 come live last night. But
So you would
I've
say
got
your whole day is dedicated, most of your day, did you say, is dedicated to your social media? I didn't get that.
not just to social media, but to my email list and to creating the squeeze pages and sales pages and things. But yes, I would say 2 hours a day probably on social media.
Okay, brilliant. So obviously your level of experience is very good, and the bigger your experience gets, the more time you do spend on it. And like you say, your network is quite big. So it's all in perspective of what you can do and how much responsibility you're prepared to take on. But even so, 2 hours a day is extremely effective. So it sounds like you're doing a lot that's really good, but perhaps maybe it's a case of just kind of pulling in and seeing where you really want to target your energy on your social media. Yeah, so you can make it more laser focused, to get the results that you need. But it sounds like you've definitely got some nice experience there. And so perhaps maybe later you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for joining sharing with us, and we're just going to move on now. Okay, so as you can see, it just all really depends on what you can and can't do. But for instance, if you can't create graphics and you can only copy and paste, you can use WhatsApp, you can use Telegram, you can use Facebook Messenger to still connect with your people, whatever works for you. You don't have to do videos. You don't have to be writing articles on LinkedIn. It's really about what your strategy is and how you use it. Okay, so when you find the platforms that work for you, maybe it's 1, maybe it's 10, you're going to make sure that you optimize the page for that particular platform. So for instance, if you've got a WhatsApp business profile, make sure you optimize it, make sure you get the catalog going, you've got your about section filled in, your information that's correct, add your social medias. you know, can you add a catalog? Can you add products? That kind of thing. Do you need a business account, or are you still operating from personal Instagram account or a personal WhatsApp account? Try add as much information that you can in a clear and easy to follow way so that people can read it and understand it. So regularly go through your social media page and look and see if someone can understand and find the information that they need. Make sure you add the correct information. Links break. Please go check your links on a regular basis. Take time to learn that specific platform. Master that platform and then move on to another platform. Master your strategy and then move on to increasing.
That's a very, very key point, which I would like to underline. A lot of people, they try and do, you said this earlier, like 20 things. Choose, if you're going to do social media and you have a platform you're comfortable within, really stick with that until you really have mastered it before you dilute your energy elsewhere.
Absolutely, George, because, you know, focused energy is far more powerful than split energy, no matter how many different platforms there are, no matter how many different people are on those platforms. Mark has raised his hand. Yes, hi, Mark. Do you want to ask a question?
So okay, if we're doing that, we also have a question from Thelma, and Harry would like to share some thoughts as well, and I will share one thought as well, but Mark will unmute.
Thank you, George. And hi, Leanne. I wanted to comment. I use the social media platform because I have a few hundred people, but what we do is post these very significant changes in a person's health, like my sister and brother-in-law just getting off Lipitor after 20 years. Well, you know, there's a lot of people on the cholesterol medicine. So when I post that and I tag my sister and brother-in-law, it goes to their pages. And then my phone starts ringing like, I saw that post on your sister. What is this product? So I'm just nurturing that pipeline by doing the updates. And then Tommy Miller does updates, Mike Galvin, other brand partners. And I've coached them to be very crisp. Don't be long-winded. Just talk about an update like you've got off 3 diabetic medicines, Mike Galvin. And then his phone starts ringing. So that's how we're using that platform. And it's expanding because I will also use messaging to send this to a lot of people so they see it, because I know they have health issues. Anyway, that's my comment. Yeah.
Absolutely, Mark. That's a really, really good strategy. Which platform did you say that you were working on?
It's Facebook. And again, I coach my people, don't be long-winded, just be real crisp. Been on Lipitor 20 years, on the patch of 6 weeks now, I was able to get off Lipitor. And then people like, oh my gosh, you know, I've been taking it for 15 years. Let me see what's going on. So it works. It seems to work very well. And we keep on doing the organic growth from that. And, you know, we went to that 50th reunion. We're still having people from that reunion say, I heard about Tommy Miller, so I want to know what's going on. I just did a call yesterday with a high school friend and her friend who's got MS, and I get Tommy on the phone, you know, the 3-way calls, 4-way calls. They're very effective because when they hear from Tommy that in 7 weeks he got out of a wheelchair, they're leaning in and listening like, oh my gosh, is this real? I said, well, Tommy's on the phone here. So anyway, crisp, to the point, pique their interest and say, look, let me follow up with you. Give me a call, send me your email. I'll send you information. And I keep nurturing that.
That's beautiful, Mark. That's definitely developing a simple strategy, knowing what's working, and then working that platform, keeping to the same strategy. It's excellent. Okay, is there anyone else that wanted to make a comment?
I would like to just say one thing here. I'm not particularly social media person, but what is, and maybe from 2006, 2016, yes, but I haven't really been on social media since then. So, but what is really, really important is to be very clear. The social media is like being on the street. So there's constant movement on the street. Cars go by, people come up to you, somebody says hello, you dive into the shop, you buy this, you go somewhere else. you've got to stop for the traffic light, you've got to keep going. It's in constant movement. So it's very, very, very important to be clear where I'm bringing people. You're what I always used to call your base camp. So just as much as social media can be very key for you if you decide to use it, you have to think very much as well where I'm bringing people and what I'm doing with them when they come. I'm gonna actually Harry's gonna he messaged me that he'd like to comment, so I'm gonna ask him to comment. But that's what I would say to everybody: be clear when what you're doing with the people when you get them to you, and if you're doing automated stuff as well. Bring them to a place where you have control, where nobody can switch you off. I've seen a lot of people being switched off. Alison referred to it with LinkedIn. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thanks, George. Absolutely. Let's let Harry ask his question.
Yeah, I think he wants to contribute. Hey, Harry, good evening. How are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
The thing about Facebook is I understand people saying, yeah, you've got to do paid advertisement. There is another facility with a lot of people don't know that they can do this, but you can download a video. If you've made a video, you can download that to your Facebook. Now, when you download that to your Facebook, Facebook will give you a unique code. So if you put the video of yourself or something that you say you've got the master copy of some video from this company, so you could download that, put the information in, and then you could put your referral link in. Now, this is where the beauty is. I would start joining groups, MLL groups, people looking for business, people, home businesses, health businesses, and start joining groups. And then when you're in that group, you can get that unique link from your Facebook, and that will get and put that into the group. Therefore, that will go straight to your page. And that will give you start giving you a lot more followings. Instead of trying to pay paid traffic, put it on your Facebook. The only person who's going to see it on your Facebook or your wall is your friends. Your friends' friends are not going to see that. So if it doesn't make sense, I can put this all in writing again and put it back into the 3-3 room.
That would be kind of you.
Because that would be much easier. I mean, I've already got something which I'm going to speak to the guy when he gets back. I've got a call on Sunday with Chris and all. I think it's Chris, isn't it? Who's it?
Chris and myself, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a call. Now, I've got a plan, but I don't want to do too much because I've already got something. But to mass produce what I want to do might take a long time, but I've got to look at a way of doing it. But I'll let people know because I've got something at the moment that is working. But to do it for everyone, it would take me forever, and I've got to be able to do it so it's.
You've got to build your business, Harry.
But you understand what I've got, George, and you see what I've got. So, but I'm trying to work it. So, could I do that for everyone? I don't know. I don't know if I could do that because I've got autoresponders on that. But could I just do that one page or something like that for everyone and just mass produce it? It's just an idea. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harry. Yes, so absolutely. I think, from this point, we can start to look at the different platforms and talk about organic strategies and how they work, because then, the people that are specifically using those platforms can join on there, because that would be really great. Because to do that is a whole thing on its own. Okay, so I just wanted to go through something that's so important that I think that people just do not actually use correctly, and that's the profiles that you have that for Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case is. And I've just taken one of the most famous Instagram profiles and use this as an example. So when you put your information here on your profile, remember when you're busy doing your testimonial posts or you're putting a post out there, and you want people to come back to your profile, you need to make sure, like I said, that it's optimized. So as you can see, this girl has gone and she's got 2 other Instagram pages that she's linked to the profile. She then tells you what the product's about, and then she tells you where to get it. Now, for you guys with LifeWave, for instance, you want people to see a little bit about who you are. You want to put some targeted keywords, if you can, in the name of your social media. So she's got Huda Beauty. Okay. And then you want to use a link in bio tool. So this year, I hope that everyone is putting their link to their website or to their landing page in those profiles, because that is so very important. And I'll show you how to utilize that link in a moment. You can share some contact information if there's a specific email that you want people to email you. We've got a call to action here saying, yeah, press the link. This little finger is so powerful to just point to show people where the link is. Use a relevant photo image here. So depending on what your approach to your social media is, make sure that that fits. If it's going to be you as an influencer or you as a person, as you know, Dr. Allison is promoting also her knowledge. She can put a picture of herself there. We can also, it just depends if it's personal or if you're doing a specific profile for the business. You could then use the stem cell pictures. You could tag related accounts, like I said here, and add your branded hashtag. Okay, in this case, I wouldn't worry about branded hashtags. That's more for bigger followings. Just a simple example of what I could do here is I could say, my name's Leanne, I'm an animal lover and a creative soul. Don't be afraid to use some emojis there. You can say you do stem cell therapy, you're a stem cell therapy advocate, you're an independent LifeWave distributor, check out link for more. And then you can do like a little finger there or whatever, and that will go to your link. So these kind of things are so simple, but so important when creating your profiles. Your Facebook profile, you've got a whole lot on the side here where you can add your information. You've got your intro here. Make sure that you put what you want people to know about you. So healed from, for instance, you know, I can say completely healed from brain fog, and my epilepsy is now under control due to LifeWave patches. It's my new passion. You know, just tell them what you want them to know about you. You doing LifeWave. What's your personal story? Add something there.
I actually know this lady. I used to interact with her many years ago.
But you know her?
Yeah, haven't
crazy.
with her.
Yes, as you can see, she's populated her personal Facebook page with specific information here. She's got all of her social media channels on her Facebook, so that if they want to get hold of her on Instagram, it helps grow her Instagram channel. She's connected them all. She's made sure that everything's filled out. Now, one of the things you can also do, and I'll show you in another profile, is you could use this profile image over here to put a little bit more information about what it is that you want people to know. So it could be directly a product image, or it could just be a little sentence that leads people to understand exactly what your message is. So I spoke to you guys a little bit about the link in bio. So what you want to use is, there's a thing called bio site. There's also a thing called Linktree. And so what you want to do is make sure that you create something like that for your business and use that. Instead of having too many links, this start X39, then I've got my, my enrollment packs, etc. I can create a link tree or a bio site, which is a mini site, and I can say, yeah, you can do start X39. You can then learn a bit more about the stem cell technology. You can find out about LifeWave. You can WhatsApp me and you can join. So it's giving them a bit more understanding, and instead of having too many links on your social media, you've got one link to do it all.
What's the name of that? Sorry, can you give the name of that service?
Okay, so it's link, LINK.TREE.
Linktree.
Yes, Linktree, and then bio site, bio.site. And what I'm going to do for everyone is I'm going to add all the links that I've discussed to the presentation, and I will supply to you next week with all the additional links that you can go and do research on your own. It helps. So then what you want to do is something that I think Harry also mentioned in the group the other day, is having some kind of capture page attached. So what you could do is from your bio site, where it says I had joined there previous, you could link it to a capture page, which is a simple squeeze page. It's just going to say stay updated or find out more about this business opportunity. Put your details in, name, email, cell number. And then once you've got those details, you can then start to send them an autoresponder. So you don't need, you can't advertise directly to your LifeWave page, but you can advertise directly to a squeeze page. Just as long as you don't have LifeWave logos and information on there, it needs to be more about what the product can do and not what the product is. So that's what you would use your squeeze page for. You'd capture the names, you'd create an autoresponder email. So once that person puts their details in, you can then send them an automatic email to remind them or let them know a little bit more information, either about the business or about the product. And then we can definitely go through this in another training.
I think that's important, but I want to underline something here. For people who've done this or close to doing this, yes, but for people who don't have a great experience with these sort of things, stay with the kind of strategy that Mark talked about, because otherwise I fear that you'll end up wasting a lot of time and energy before getting it right. So I've been to all of these places, done all of these things in the past. So what I want to say is don't take on more than you can chew at the moment. And to build your LifeWave organization, I would say keep it simple as much as possible with what works for you. Perhaps you'd like to comment on what I've just said, Leanne.
Absolutely, George. And that's the whole reason why we've just really gone down to basics. This kind of thing is a little bit more advanced, and it's something that you could probably learn in one sitting. We could show you, but if you're not ready for it and you're working with your social media, you're working your leads and it's working for you, only start to seek improvement when you see that you can grow. Don't seek too much improvement, because you will get lost in the social media, in this whole minefield that is and it's a wonderful thing, internet and social media, but you do want to keep grounded while you're doing it, because that's the whole point, is you want to grow your business.
So before we lose it, and before you continue, and before I lose it in the chat, there was a comment from Thelma. So it's kind of disappearing, and I've gone back to it. WhatsApp has launched channels now that you can follow. Saw this today. Status is now updates on WhatsApp. I need to find out how to create a channel. So I don't know if you're aware of that, or if maybe Wilson is, because I know he works with WhatsApp. But at some point before we finish, maybe address that question.
Okay, great. I think that we will get Wilson to answer the question if he doesn't mind.
Wilson's got his hand up, so while we're here, let's go with Wilson. Hello, sir. Please open.
Guys, hi guys. Just before I get to WhatsApp, I'm seeing something here that I'm really liking. So, System IO. So, yes, I agree with everything George is saying. Only bite off as much as you can chew. But with System IO, it's completely free. They also offer a course that you can do. And their whole system is free up until a point. That means squeeze pages, building an autoresponder, and they literally take you through a course that gets you to a level where you a ninja with their system. And all of it's free up until a point. And yes, I mean, any person that really want to get after building squeeze pages, doing autoresponders, all those type of things, System IO is a great place to start, just because of this course that they offer that literally takes you from start to finish. And that's the first thing I wanted to say. Regarding the channels on WhatsApp, I'm actually going to go see exactly what's going on there. I do a couple things on WhatsApp. Just one thing I wanted to also mention, and I'm so grateful that I'm on this call because it's sort of giving me a kick up the butt that I need, because I love the online stuff. Videos. If people can create videos or copy videos, you can post shorts and reels on Facebook, you can do it on Instagram, you can do it on TikTok, and you can do it on YouTube. And what that then means is you can create one piece of content and you can post it on 4 places in one shot. So it doesn't mean that you need to now go create 4 different things. It's just posting it on 4 different platforms. So when you know, I went through this, I was like, you know what, I just need to get a bit more aggressive, because I'm already creating content. I just need to get it out there in more places. But yeah, when I saw the System IO, I just wanted to mention that they've got a great training that can get you from knowing nothing to a ninja. And as I know, it doesn't cost anything. A lot of these things that you need to use cost money. And with System IO, the bare package to get started and get the ball rolling is completely free. And once you got traction, you can then upgrade it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents there. So on the channels, I'm going to go see exactly what's going on there. Like I understand, it's just the group. I don't know how the channel works. I'll go do a bit of research and I'll get back to you.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thanks, Wilson. Appreciate. Yeah,
thank you.
So, I mean, Wilson's absolutely right. I see that Alison, she mentioned she's definitely MailChimp is anti-MLM. So she'll boycott it. I'm not really a fan of MailChimp, but I know a lot of people know how to use it and they make it work for themselves. So if it's working for you, then that's great. If it doesn't work for you, HubSpot's another one that's free up until a point. But I must say the most comprehensive, and that's why I put it there, is System.io. And it is a very, very good program to have.
Alison,
I've never liked MailChimp Mill, definitely.
Alison makes a point of some of these, or more than a few of these companies have a no network marketing in their terms and conditions, so you can check. But I want to underline again, here we really are about person to person. So really don't forget, if you're going to use social media, to talk to the people you come into contact every day. We come into contact with people all day long, in whether it's by phone or whether it's bumping into them, and develop the art of reaching into people very quickly and doing it on a person-to-person basis. I think all of this is great, but I'm very wary of people getting lost in the weeds here, because that can happen very easily, and then their LifeWave business, LifeWave organization, taking longer to get going.
Absolutely. George, I'm just going to put on hold, Thelma, if you don't mind, I'm just going to put on hold any more questions. I'm just going to move through a little bit more. I don't want to keep people on the call too long tonight. I'm also just a little bit aware of their time. So the things that I've gone through are the simplest thing that you can do. Just creating a landing page with the autoresponder is pretty simple. Going too deep into it can start to get complicated. But what you really want is to capture the leads and have at least something automated that's doing it for you when you can't do it. That's why we use this kind of system. But I can, like I said, I can do training, and we can look at creating a simple page for everyone. You know, with System, you can actually share your templates. So we can create a simple page and share the templates with everyone, whoever would like to use it. So we can look at creating some tools for you guys, and then maybe a call just to go through how to use specific tools. Just pretty much like Wilson did with the WhatsApp. Okay, so just a little bit on posting. There are different platforms require different types of posts and lengths of posts, but George mentioned it and Mark mentioned it. It is actually a lot better to keep your posts fairly short. You can do some longer posts on Facebook, and Instagram is now allowing a bit longer posts, but you know, you don't want to go on too long. You want to kind of get to the point and get people onto the link, onto where you want them to act. So I will obviously put a link there to go through to a blog that will tell you what the different platforms require. Using of hashtags, there are tools that can show you what hashtags to use, and I'm sure we can all share our hashtags for LifeWave with each other. That helps us to get the best reach. And you different platforms, again, like Instagram, 30 hashtags. Twitter, you just start with 1. And LinkedIn, for instance, does not like a lot of hashtags, and they don't like a lot of emojis. So your Instagram, you could use emojis. LinkedIn, you'd rather keep it more to the professional side. So it's just kind of, like I say, mastering the platform and understanding what each platform is what is required. Then you need to create yourself a content calendar. What are you going to post on which day? You know, this is where a bit of the strategy comes in. So for instance, Monday, I'm going to put my thoughts about healing and light and frequency, for instance. Or I'm going to put my thoughts about seeing the change in my family. Then I'm going to do a live Q&A on my platform that evening. I'm going to do a testimonial on Tuesday. I'm going to do a product reel on Wednesday. I'm going to talk about the research, and then I'm going to make a personal connection. So these are just an idea of strategy. And if you kind of keep to a schedule of what you do, you don't have to do it on that same day but it just keeps the consistency going. And it also gets people to understand that you do certain things and they can expect certain things from you. Like they know you're going to do your live Q&A on a Monday, that kind of thing. Again, frequency of posting depends on the platform, but you want to be posting at least once a day and up to 2 to 3 times a day. The more you post, you know, just look at different types of posts. Don't do the same post if it's in one day. If you're going to do a normal post, and then you're going to do maybe a video post and then a live Q&A, if you're going to do it all in one day. Kind of keep the variety going there. Don't do the same thing. And then schedule your content. If you can't be consistent, find a scheduler. There's a variety of schedulers. I've mentioned them here. And basically a scheduler is something that you can find if you're doing Facebook and Instagram. You've got your Meta suite at the back of your Facebook and Instagram where you can schedule, and it's absolutely free. So you don't have to go and pay money, and there are a lot of free tools that you can use to schedule. And then you can stick with doing your live Q&A, which is something that you have to do on your own. whilst the rest is all scheduled. So it also helps, and then you can spend your time following up with people, doing comments, doing engagement, and that kind of thing on whatever platform you choose to do. Okay, I think Thelma's had her hand up. Let's take a question, Thelma.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hi, Thelma. How are you?
Hi, Leanne. I'm very well, and you? Thank
Good.
you for that. I just have a quick question. I lost my thought of trainer, but I saw on another lady's Facebook page where she promotes LifeWave, and she sort of took a video of David Schmidt was having a presentation. So she just made a video, and while he was on the presentation, and then she posted that video, which was a short little clip, to her Facebook page. But now my question is something like that permitted in terms of posting something like that? You make a video of something that's playing on TV and you post it to your Facebook page. I don't know what the if it's allowed. And also, I don't know if that's allowed in terms of LifeWave policies. Because I see a lot of pages, I've been on to a lot of pages that I've linked to as well. They've all got different things going on and different, so there's nothing branded, or there's nothing like LifeWave. It's like bright colors and this and that, and so it's all over the place, and you think to yourself, okay, but is this okay with LifeWave? Or I know it's your own business, so you have to be like innovative about how you get your message across, but I'm just thinking, is LifeWave okay with this sort of thing? So yeah, that's my question. And then I was just wondering, those YouTube, on LifeWave's YouTube channel, I wanted to know if you download that YouTube or that thing and you just want to take a snippet out of that specific thing that they were talking about so that you can post it to your Facebook page. How do you do that? That's my question. Thank you very much.
It's an excellent question. Thanks, Thelma. And it's absolutely perfect because we just landed on this specific page. So one of the things is that when something is posted on social media, it's very difficult to, you kind of lose your copyright to it. And there are ways of using other people's social media to grow your social media. So for instance, if you on Instagram, you can remix a reel. So you can go to LifeWave's reel, for instance, and remix it where you in the picture with the LifeWave video, and you can either talk or discuss that. That would be the right way of using someone else's social media. You can also, you can legally download the video. And, obviously you've got to be very careful how you do it, but you can legally download the video as long as you give credit to the actual author of the video. So, always be cautious with this kind of thing. Always make sure that you're checking copyright, but there is a way to do that. You can use small snippets of videos and movies as long as it is to make a point. If you're just using it for its sake and its own value, then it is a little bit of a tricky thing. But if you're using it to make a point and you're using a small part of it, that is still acceptable. Okay, so obviously that it does open up a lot of questions about what is fair usage. But yes, you can use a small amount. So a lot of people actually will take someone's talk Joe Dispenza, for instance, and they'll split it up into small pieces and then take that part and put it on their social media. And what they will do is then discuss that. So you can do that, and that can help you to grow and add content that more, you know, it's kind of, that can create a bigger engagement for you so that you can spread your reach for the videos that you are using. The other question that you said about people having, you know, all different looks and the life, you know, that kind of thing. Yes, you know, when you're using LifeWave and the brand, you should stick to the brand. So if you are going to use and create posts, you know, try and keep it as clean and simple as possible. You know, don't add too many additional colors and, you know, kind of mess around with the logo. It needs to be kept in its original form. And remember, LifeWave, for instance, you are an independent distributor. You can talk about LifeWave. You can talk about what it does. But your job is to really share your story about LifeWave and the changes that it's created for you and the people around you and why you love it so much. So it's your perspective. So always come from that idea that you're coming from your own perspective and your own kind of view of the world and yourself with LifeWave, how it's changed you, the miracles that it's created in your life, that kind of thing. So, yeah, just be very aware of it. But yes, we can remix reels. We can take snippets from other people's videos. We can get very creative with how we use it. We can also play out things that we've seen from other people. We can do our own interviews. So things like you can create product posts. So instead of actually using LifeWave's designs and that, you know, take your product and take a video of it, you know, show, say for instance, a sweeping picture of you going over your LifeWave envelopes. Ask people, engagement posts. You can ask people, do you know anyone that is suffering with diabetes? Or do you know that stem cell therapy helps with neuralgia? You can ask, you can create engaging post and ask people questions, and this works specifically well, like Harry mentioned, talking about Facebook groups. That kind of thing works really well in Facebook groups. And WhatsApp, you can create polls. You can talk about what's trending, so you can take what other people, what's trending, and you can talk about that, bringing it back to the stem cell therapy. Remember, with your posting, always bring it back to what you're doing. Always bring it, make it their reason for you doing the post. You know, don't just put a post out there. You want to bring them back to the stem cells. You want to bring it back to the technology. You want to bring it back to the activation. You want to bring it back to that, because then it creates a purpose. It's not just something that's pretty. You can obviously have those posts, definitely, but try to create that theme. And then, yeah, you've got your like personal photographs and things like that work very, very well. That's Chris's strategy. And he'll tell you now, as he started his business, he took photos of every single person that he patched. And he just got orders like this because people were like, what is Chris up to? You know, so user-generated content, that's where you get a little bit creative with who you are. If you feel like you're a little bit of an actor or an actress and you want to kind of get a little bit fun and creative, you're going to create your own content, and you'll obviously bring in the product here and there. Stories, and then obviously live streams. So I hope that answered your question, Thelma. I just want to see on the chat here if there's anything I missed.
Yeah, Merle highlights that LifeWave has Facebook banners in the promotion section in the marketing tools area. They're new. They put a lot of new stuff in there recently. I think what you said is key, and this comes to really, you know, we all work in the way that we feel comfortable, but it's what I do. It's bring it it's the stories. Mark tells the stories. Maybe he tells his stories, or the story about Tommy, or the story about other people. I have 1,000 stories, and this is something I say a lot recently. There are many ways to skin a cat, but there are many different kinds of cats. So you just got to adjust your stories. They're all true stories. I'm not telling stories. I'm sharing the stories that have come from the people in this group. Occasionally, I'll share a story. Well, obviously, I've shared Javi's story with his boy, and occasionally I'll share another story. But basically, I only share stories with people who are in my downline team organization. And then, if anybody says, I'd like to speak to that person, we always do it. We've done that very often. So, I personally, I wouldn't get that complicated. I said earlier, keep it simple. If I'm using social media, I would tell a story, or this story or that story, and keep bringing it back to what is my base camp. Always, every time. At the moment, my base camp, and probably will continue forever, is like, talk to me. I don't give my number to anybody anymore. I don't take anybody's number anymore. I just give them mine and say, if you want to, contact me. And I wait to see what they do. I don't chase people, like, say, give me your number and let me call you. I don't do that. But that's how I've developed to make this work for me. Each person will find the way that works for themselves. The main thing is to be comfortable in what you're doing.
Absolutely. So Mark says he shares healing stories, and he says, I do many 3- and 4-way calls with new people.
Absolutely.
So they can hear it directly from the horse's mouth. That's brilliant. I just want to see if I've got everyone. Sometimes I don't think it's very authentic. I see some people.
Leanne, I want to comment. So I'm talking with a high school friend, Kathy, and she has her friend Betty on the phone who's got MS. We start talking, and Betty's starting to ask a lot of questions. I said, Kathy, you ought to talk with Tommy. She goes, I've been meaning to call him. I said, you guys have a few more minutes? I'll get him on the phone. They goes, sure. Tommy is always there. I get him on the phone. He talks for 7 minutes, and Betty's like, oh my God, you really did get out of a wheelchair? He goes, I'm standing proof right here. And the next thing Betty says, let me look at this. I want to sign up. There you have it. Because the power of hearing from the horse's mouth right there.
Calling Tommy a horse?
That's a very powerful strategy, Mark, that is part of your, how you complete your sales process, is that you're bringing people into that call, you're bringing in Tommy, and it's closing and it's working, right? So you repeat it.
Yeah. Someone that's saying, can I really get off insulin? I said, my buddy Mark, I said, let me get Tommy on the phone. And Tommy goes, 7 weeks, and I got off insulin after 20 years. And Mark goes, I know I'm skeptical, but I can't believe this. I said, Tommy, tell him again. He says it again. He says, okay, I'll try these. I want to get on them. It's got to be powerful, right to the point. And when Tommy speaks, people listen, like E.F. Hutton. There you go.
So find yourself a Tommy, right?
Oh yeah, he's my poster child, boy, whatever you want to call him.
Yes, if you don't have, I think Chris has spoken about this as well, and George as well. If you don't have your own story that you feel is powerful enough, then you can definitely lean on someone else's story, and see if you can collaborate and bring them in on calls and things like that. There's definitely ways to bring in the story aspect, and we know we are so lucky with all our testimonials with LifeWave.
So sorry, just quickly, when I said the base camp, bring them into your base camp. So basically, Mark has very, very clear, I'm saying this for everybody, he's very, very clear that when somebody shows interest, he brings them into his base camp, which is basically a phone call with 2 or 3 people on that call. I've been on many calls with Mark and his people. Mark will say, are you there? Can we get on a call? So that's his, what I would call base camp. So develop the way that's most comfortable for you. For once you've brought you've piqued people's interest, on social media and they're coming towards you, then be kind of clear, and you may have to play with it until you find the way that's optimal for you. But that's, when I say the base camp, that's Mark's way of doing his base camp. You might do it differently.
And that's the thing, you know, that touches on a very important point, George, is that we need to, one of the best tools that you can have for sales is to be convinced about your product and to be confident about your product. If you're using a social media channel or tools that specifically starting out that you don't feel is going to create the confidence, then use the way that gives you the confidence to complete the process for you. You know, if you're trying to do LinkedIn and it's new and you're not able to actually put your energy in, but you've got Instagram and it's been working for you, then stick with Instagram. Like we said, master the tools and keep where the confidence is. And that's going to help you. And then when that grows and that you can get more people, then you can start to look at adding the new tool that you can put your confidence in, if that makes sense. So I have to touch on AI tools tonight because it's so important. It's helped me in my job every single day, doing social media posts and things for other companies. Very, very important. If you are not a writer or you're not a person that can read a lot of information, but you want to bring some of the information into your posts, you want to create some tools, you want to create some social media posts, you definitely need to get into ChatGPT. It's going to help you to assist you with your writing. By summarizing text, you can change the tone of voice and you can create full social media posts, but it's not always accurate. It's not always available. So you have to sometimes put the actual information in that you want it to use, ask it to summarize, and then ask it to create a post, and then triple check that everything is correct.
And I would add one thing about that. It makes very generic responses. So I would, if I was going to use that, which I don't, but if I did, I would always reword it and make it sound like myself instead of like a computer talking to me.
Absolutely.
So, you know, all these tools are great, but you really have to, people can spot authenticity and they can spot, so we're all about here being authentic and real. So, I mean, it has its value, but ChatGPT, but beware, be aware of what I said.
So there are really great ways to, like I said, change tone of voice. So you can actually prompt it to change the voice a little bit to a more relaxed, casual, open, friendly, more adventurous tone, whatever you'd like to, you can. But like I said, it's really, and exactly what George says, it's there more for ideas, and you really have to go over it and make sure that it resonates with you, it reads well, other people are going to understand it. So yes, it's just a tool. It is not a replacement at all.
Leanne, I just wanted to mention something. I've been working with ChatGPT now for a long time, and the new language model is incredible. It actually is starting to write the content the way I would write it, because I've now written like a lot to it, and it's actually picked up on my style of how I communicate. So it doesn't happen overnight, but when you use that tool properly, people wouldn't know that it's ChatGPT that wrote it. It's not going to happen overnight, but they're just improving on it all the time. And that's definitely something people should start using when they're just writing stuff, or when they want to have something written, but they want to write it better. That's something that I do with ChatGPT a lot. I'll write something and then I'll go throw it in ChatGPT and I'll say, write this better, or write this funnier, or write this with a bit more seriousness. You can literally direct it. You can say, write it for medical professionals, for example, and it's going to get technical, but it's an incredible tool, and I would highly recommend people start engaging with it because it actually learns how you communicate. And over time, people wouldn't know that it's the bot that wrote it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think, there's a variety of different levels, but it is something that you do want to start playing around with, whether it's just to summarize your content or whether it's to start to really get it to work for you. There's loads of prompts that you can find and really play around with that and get it to kind of mold it with your voice, like Wilson says. It's really up to you, but it is definitely something that's going to help you with your content. Sometimes I don't want to read like 4 pages of like a blog that's 4 pages long, and I just say, ChatGPT, tell me what this is about, and then it summarizes it for me, so it just helps. So I'm getting a response. Okay. Italians don't need ChatGPT. We have our own sign language. We talk with our hands. Yeah, that is true. You can get into trouble, hey? I've heard if you just scratch your chin, people might take offense to that. Okay, so we've also got grammar and writing assistance. So I recently upgraded to Quillbot Pro, and that has helped me tremendously with my grammar. And it also has some prompts and rephrases. So if you want to paraphrase someone else's writing, it paraphrases it for you. It also says, you can also say, make it sound like a property professional, for instance, because I do it for property, and it helps me to get some ideas of how to phrase the text. So it's really, really good in terms of your grammar. And it is important, guys, that you do write correctly so people can trust you, because on social media, there's the like, no, trust factor, and it's important to have good grammar. Okay, there's also some other beautiful tools here: Veed.io, Midjourney, Designs.io, 11 Labs, and Wilson will also talk to you about NowSite. And these are tools that either can help you create videos. So if you can't create videos, you can use some AI tools to create some videos, to create visuals, and even to create websites. So if you're battling with some of the things that you want to do, you can always just ask us and we can maybe suggest a software for you to help you to get that done. If you, like I say, if you don't know Canva, for instance, maybe Designs.io would work better for you. Okay, and then for Thelma, this video.ai, if you want to take snippets of someone else's video on YouTube, you can actually put the YouTube address in here, and it cuts it up into little parts, and then you can use the video as a discussion point in your social media. Okay, so really, guys, the tools for success are: be consistent, optimize your profiles, ensure your link is in your bio, have a lead capture page, post every day, schedule your posts, and if you can, do live and reels. If you can't do lives, do reels at least. And then follow up on your comments and your leads. So a lot of people are not sure what to say in their posts and how to say it. And that's why I've put together a bit of the tools for greatness. We won't be able to go through a lot of it this evening, but I'll just quickly go over it, and we can always have another call for this. You need to understand your niche. Everyone, you're not selling to everyone. It doesn't work that way because we're all different people. I love spirituality and meditation, for instance. So that's kind of the niche that I'm working with. If you're working on dramatic healing like Mark, that's his approach. We all need to find that niche. Maybe I'm a recovering diabetic. Maybe look at focusing on all the things that people that have diabetes are going through, and we can talk about all different aspects about that. you really can make a massive niche just on diabetes, you know?
That's
But
true. I have a lady in one of my Spanish groups. She's thyroid problems, and she has like 39,000 people in her thyroid group, and she's been talking about LifeWave to them. And when she was able to say my blood work shows a huge difference over 4 months, people start to listen to her.
absolutely. So it's just, you know, if you're going to talk about too many different things, it dilutes the market. If you're talking about specific things, people start to understand that that's what you're about. And by you having the niche, you can understand what people's pain points are about, so you can create posts directed to their pain points. You can then develop what we call an attractive character. So a way of approaching your social media by being a certain person, like we are, you know, if we go to church, we're not going to be a party person. If we, you know, if we go to a party, we're going to enjoy ourselves. It's the same thing, that when you're on your social media, if you mold yourself into a bit of a character, so people can better digest you online, they will start to trust you more because they know what they're going to get from you. So that's very important. Talk about what's important to you, and try mold your social media into a direction of 3 words. Find 3 things that you find are interesting. Full person, know your thought forms into it. Again, be consistent, keep on trend. Is internet okay? Just checking in.
I'm not sure if it's my internet or yours, but it's broken up. So can somebody say something? Okay, she went. She died. She'll be back. So listen, everybody, thank you. This has been very interesting. I'll add for people who want to make graphics, there are a lot of very cheap or free apps on the App Store and probably on the Play Store, which when I was making graphics, I've got like 20 of them. And you can blend photos, you can make collages, all sorts of things. So it's not a big deal to make graphics. You can just check out, you know, your apps for making graphics and see what is current. It changes all the time what people are liking. So that's something. Yeah, good for you. And I always tell people, Mark says, with all women, he tells them about Gloria, 3 weeks on X39, mammogram masses now clear, fibromyalgia, burning in the leg gone, swelling tongue no more. And I always talk about how other women look at, you know, women look at other women's faces more sharply than any man would ever look at a woman's face, and that when they see those results in other women's faces, that also catches their interest. Hey, Leanne, you got back, it looks like. Happy birthday for Kenneth, Desiree. Did Leanne get back? Yeah, you're back, and I got to make you co-host. Oh, you're still co-host. Okay. So she's here, but not somehow. I can see you, but we don't hear you, and you're not unmuting. Let me go back. Oh, no, she's disappeared again. We'll give her another chance, see if her internet allows her to join us again. And meanwhile, does anybody have any thoughts they would like to share while she sees if she can get back on? Mark is going to say something. Thank you, sir.
George, you know, I tell my team, be yourself. You don't have to sell anything. Just tell
Absolutely.
your story. And with Mike Galvin, I use him as an example. He says, Mark, I'm just not good at selling. I said, Mike, you just tell people you've got all 3 diabetic meds after what, 6 weeks? That's about all you need to say. They're going to be like, what? And you just tell them what you did in a few sentences. And he finally got it. He doesn't have to sell. Just tell your healing story. And I said, if you can always refer to me or Tommy, but we're all relaxing into just speak from the heart about what it's done for you, or a testimonial like Tommy, and people naturally want to hear more. It's not too many people to say, I don't want to know how to reactivate my stem cells. They don't say that.
Yeah, I was talking with Steve Merritt in Tampa, and we were talking with another person, and he said to the other guy, you know, why would you want to leave your stem cells dormant?
That's right.
Why in the world would you want to leave your stem cells dormant when you can bring them to life for $100 a month? You know, people spend a lot of money on nonsense. Spend a little bit on your stem cells.
I've been working on a friend of mine, and I signed him this morning. He is a grandson of R.J. Reynolds, and he's pretty skeptical. I said, Patrick, listen, you see what it's done for me. I said, my friend, it's $3.30 a day. He goes, Mark, okay, I'm going to try them. I said, make sure you use the tracker so you can document all the subtle changes that will occur, Patrick, 100%, because these stem cells are going to go fix what's not working. Not maybe, sort of, they will. It just takes a little time. Drink lots of water and just be patient with it, because it took you a long time to get these illnesses you have. And I said, how old are you? 74. I said, it could take a few months, 6 months, whatever, to reverse them. And I said, if you can make diet changes, it helps even more. And next question, give me examples of diet changes. I said, eating organic, free range chicken, grass-fed beef, things that avoid the chemicals. And now he's signed up. He is a megaphone. He's got huge 501c, followings. I said, Patrick, you do this and your friends are going to want to know what is going on with your health. And that was it. And we signed him up.
Thank you for that story, Mark. You transmitted a lot of stuff with that. Back to you, Leanne.
Hi. Oh, sorry about the internet faux pas, guys.
well done for getting back.
We did try. Okay, so yes, basically we've got all the ability to do the things that we need to do, and our strategy, with the tools for success that I spoke to you beforehand. That's just making sure that things are done in a certain way and that they're consistent. It really doesn't matter a lot of the time what you do. It's that you continue doing that thing if it's working for you, and then you can always grow. The tools for greatness are more if you want to start to level up your social media. That's where you want to start to really get noticed. You want to start building a following. You want to start to be a little bit of a thought leader. That's where this is going to help you. I would always say it's important to understand your niche if you're posting and whatnot, but to really start to get people to notice you definitely want to take the tools for greatness and start to look at that. That's where you start to look at the psychology of the people that you're talking to and that kind of thing. And that's where you start to create more of the user-generated content. Okay, so understand your niche. Again, why do we have a niche? Why can't we speak to everyone? Each person is different. They have their own different mindset and of how they see the world, and each cultures are different, and each sex is different. Each person has their own idea, and so if we're going to send out a signal, a frequency, right? We're going to send out our life wave frequency. What is that frequency? And when we send that frequency out, who is it going to connect with? And so it's similarly trying to find someone that you want to convince to buy LifeWave compared to someone that comes to you because they resonate with you and then like what you're saying and they enjoy what you're saying. That's the difference. It's more of a flow to find the niche. Okay, then understanding, what does my niche need? What are their pain points? Are they overworkers? Are they stressed out? Do they have inflammation? Which age group are they? Am I going to talk, am I going to focus more on millennials, or am I going to focus more on 50 plus? That kind of thing. And what would their pain points be? And then we can, then all of a sudden, making posts and making social media becomes really easy because you're talking directly to those specific needs. Then we don't have to, have analysis paralysis over which post to put, because we actually have a little bit of more of a direction. Okay, this guy here, Carby Lame, I don't know if anyone has seen him. He is the most well-known, successful influencer of all time. Of all time. He is not, he's more successful than any other person on social media. And when I first saw him, he was just a guy pulling a weird face in different situations. That's all he does, really. And then he also looks at other people's posts in a weird face. But he's consistent, right? He's consistent in his character. He doesn't now start to become someone else and now teaching people about something. He's got that way. I've learned to see him. I accept him. I know, like, and trust the man because he's become well known to me. And this is exactly the perfect example of what an attractive character is. How can you mold your social media to create a bit of an attractive character? So you can also just check him out. It's at Carby00. Okay. Then again, what we are talking about, talk about what's important to you. Talk about yourself, again, Mark, because you've shared so much, you've got a healing story, you've got a friend that's gone through a very significant, so you love to talk about the dramatic healing that is coming from LifeWave, the dramatic stories, and so that becomes part of your 3 words, right? Dramatic healing. And then it could be faith. And then it could be resilience, And those 3 words, then my posts become a little bit more about resilience, faith, and this dramatic healing, and how everyone can do it because so many people that have done it, right? So we don't always, everyone doesn't have to come from that approach. You can come from different approaches. You decide what's right for you. Be authentic in social media. Like George said, be authentic, be you. And just be you in a more focused, directed way. Make sure that everything is kind of seen through those rose-colored glasses. Okay. Oh, oopsie. Sorry about that. Oh, okay, I clicked on a link. So yes, guys, just have a look at what other people are doing to get ideas. But have fun and create and get a little bit creative with your posts. Do some where it's just some task-orientated posts that are information and it's important. And then put some creative energy into doing some of the posts. Maybe get a little bit playful. Think about how you can approach it to make yourself stand out. Okay. This is obviously, there'll be links here. I wonder if I can show you. I'm not going to go through that right now, but yes, basically that's it. Okay, but the real secret, guys, the biggest secret on social media, be consistent. If you've done too much, you can't be consistent. So you have to shave down what you're doing and get back to basics. Stick with what works with you until you can be consistent again. And that's it. And then you can grow. And if you can be consistent in growth, then you do that. So that's the ultimate secret.
Sorry, just gonna add this. You guys, you hear me say this all the time. And consistency. If you are persistent and consistent on the one hand, patience and passion on the other hand, time will do the rest. Whether you're doing it person to person or on social media or anywhere, you need those things. You need to be persistently consistent or consistently persistent without being boring to people, without being heavy with them, without driving them nuts. And you need patience, a lot of patience, passion as well. Your people, when they start with the patches, you need to help them to be consistent and use them consistently. There's a lot of people. I had a long call last night with a lady. Oh, we had this for my mom, for my sister, and we went around the houses for about 15 minutes. And I said, so what you're telling me is you used one patch once of X39, you noticed something. Your mother used 7 over 3 weeks, and your dad used, and they all noticed something, but you didn't do it the way it should be. I understand you were on holidays, so let's now get it down that you are gonna use it consistently. So we did a great order for her. She went from silver to platinum, and now her mum, her dad, her sister, and herself are using X39 consistently. That's just about being consistent. It applies to every single area in this story.
Perfect. So I don't know if we can open up the floor if anyone would like to ask any questions.
So you can either raise your, I can actually change the mute all to allow people to unmute themselves. So hit the mute all, you'll be muted, and anybody can now unmute themselves. I think Claudia Reynoso opened her microphone. If you would like to say something, Claudia, super.
No, thank you. Just to share that this is an amazing call. I am a graphic designer. I have some idea of social networking, but this is kind of new to me, and keeping it simple, it's great. And thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you, Claudia. Appreciate.
So listen, I'm going to tell a little story here. Claudia's in my Mexican group. Leanne was in my South African group. They both talking to me about graphics, and I said, let's make a little graphic group. So Leanne and Claudia met. How amazing is that, to connect somebody in Mexico with somebody in South Africa who are working in the same field, who do the same stuff outside the same field? Things are coming because of it.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I love that. Yeah, definitely, to bring people together and collaborate where you can, with skills will help. You're not in this business alone, and don't see it in that way. Anyone else? Shame, I know we've gone on very late. So if anyone has any questions, you can take down you can ask it on the group if you like, and then we can hopefully answer those questions in a further call. But thank you so very much for joining me and being so patient with our internet issues today. I hope that you found it of extreme value. And if there's anything that you would like us to talk about more, we'll definitely create a call. But we can definitely go much deeper into the topics that we discussed.
Thank you, Leanne, for doing this for everybody. I know Chris appreciates. He told me he was still completely exhausted from his trip. So, and also no electricity for I think 12 hours. So he had to go to his mum's house and recharge the UPS. But he said, I think I probably won't make it on this call. So
Yeah, no, he
thanks
said
from
they
him.
stole his cables, unfortunately. So,
Oh,
yeah. Thanks, George.
thank
Appreciate it.
you. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, I suppose we can just say goodnight and thank you very, very much for everyone. You've made it very nice, a really great call. So thank you for your participation.
Till the
Thanks,
next.
George. I appreciate the platform. I really do.
Thank you.
Let me stop sharing.
Okie dokie. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. I'll put my
Bye.
camera on. Bye.
I'm going to hit the kill button.